Hello. How y'all? Ole'Pops here. Sitting out here on my front porch, listening to all that dadgum traffic. That traffic's gotten loud. Road crew went through and scraped up the road. They got a bunch of potholes that they're trying to patch. They pitched a bunch of pitch. If y'all don't know what pitch is, it's asphalt and tar. Hear all that? That's that spinning thing. It's got that steel brush in it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me or not. Maybe I've chose the wrong time to do this video, or the wrong day. They've been out there doing this for a week now. They're trying to get us a fresh pave on the road. There's so many potholes out there that the city's getting sued right and left. We've lost a couple of compact cars and SUVs. Dang. I should have combed my beard. Anyway, we've lost a couple of small pieces of traffic in the potholes out there. They had to send out search crews for them. Like moon-sized craters. But they got a lane of traffic going each way and a center turn lane out there. It used to be a dirt road when I was a kid. Seriously. But I'm not here for any reason. I just hadn't talked to y'all in a while. I don't have any yards to cut today. No doctor's appointments today. There sits my dog peeking at me through the curtain. I got nothing to do this morning. It's the first time in I don't know when that Ole'Pops hadn't been busy during the day. I got a text from Douglas Curmudgeon the other night asking me how I was doing. I hadn't been on the YTPC in a while. He's asking me how I was doing, and I told him that I'd been busy during the day and just beat during the night. That's about the size of it. I got a deck that I need to go work on, and it's a beautiful day to do it, but I think I'm gonna wait until the weekend, which will be tomorrow. But I'm gonna wait till Sunday. Oughtn't to be working on Sunday, but the fella I'm doing it for is off on Sunday, and I'm gonna let him go with me to get the stuff I need for it. Housekeeping. I'm smoking my Melina that was sent to me by my brother in Virginia. Old Onion. He sent that to me back when he was a Californian. And smoking a little bit of Hobbit's weed in it that I mixed up myself. It's not the real version. I had some BCA and some, of course, everybody knows, I think, that it's BCA and a particular cherry and a particular vanilla. And that's what I did. I took some BCA and a particular cherry and a particular vanilla. Just wasn't the right particular vanilla, wasn't the right particular cherry. Turned out okay though. I likes it. Anyway, I ain't got nothing to say. I just come on here to say, hey, got to thinking about all the horror stories I've been seeing on the news about these vaccinations. Thinking about when I was a kid, growing up in Alabama, I went to school. We moved here to where I live now when I was 7 years old. And I had some surgery when I was 7. And I missed half a year of school. So I went 2 years in Alabama and then started my 3rd year in Alabama and missed that half a year. And during that half a year we moved here. But them first 3 years, of course, you know, back then, you had to get, and I imagine you still do. I ain't had kids in school for years and years and years. But back then, when you had kids in school, you had a whole list of vaccinations that they had to get before you started them in school. But back then, in 1961, one of the vaccinations that they had to get to start school back then was a polio vaccine. But in 1961, they developed an oral drop that you took instead of a shot, an inoculation. They developed an oral drop for polio. So what they did was they just went to the schools and put 3 drops on sugar cubes, and they just passed it out at school. At least they did in the state of Alabama. And they would vaccinate children. I guess it wouldn't be a vaccinate. They would medicate or inoculate or how whatever the term was. They would vaccinate. It's giving them the vaccine. So I guess it's still vaccinating, whether it be orally or injecting it. They would vaccinate children orally with these sugar cubes. And we'd all get in line, class by class, and we'd go down each year to get our polio vaccines. And I remember that being one of the highlights each year, or the 2 years that I was there. And I know it sounds kind of cruel or kind of crude, but does anybody out there know what hydrocephalism is? It's hydro meaning water, and cephalism referring to the brain. It's water on the brain. I think hadn't seen any or much of it these days, but back then you saw more of it. And I think you see it more in foreign countries, if you see it at all anymore. You see it more in foreign countries or lesser developed countries than you do in the United States now. But I think that they may have it under control now. They may be able to do more about it now. But you don't hear so much about it anymore. But back then, when I was growing up, they weren't able to do a lot about it. But we'd go down to the cafeteria or the gymnasium. That part's unclear in my mind, where we used to line up to get our sugar cube. I don't remember if it was a gym or the cafeteria. But I do remember going down and getting them. And I also remember walking past several little students in wheelchairs that were stricken with this horrible disease of hydrocephalism. And their brains, their little brains, their heads would be swollen and horribly disfigured. And as a small child, 5, 6, 7 years old, to me it left quite an impression. And please don't judge me for this, but later on, watching episodes of the original Star Trek series, you see aliens and they'd have this big bulbous head. You'd point at it and say, you know, and you'd think, I saw that at school, you know. And you'd wonder, are these kids from another planet? You know, so you'd go ask your parents, are these kids from another planet? And then your parents wouldn't exactly know how to answer it, and then they'd come up with terms that would try to make it easy for you to understand, and knowing that a 5, 6, 7-year-old child is not going to understand terms like hydrocephalism, you know. And they come up with terms like water baby. And you, well, Mama, aren't all babies born out of water? I mean, aren't we all like in a bag of water? I mean, I don't know. It's not like not bad parenting, but you know, just things that parents have to come up with and explain to their children. I'm glad all my kids are grown. I was watching a guy on TV today talk about, on TV, I was watching a guy on a video today talk about heavy metals in the vaccines today, in the vaccine today. And I got to thinking about me and poor old Jilly. I got thinking, sheesh, I'm glad, you know, we're in our 60s, all the heavy metal we went through. Now we're in our 60s. We're downsizing, trying to live a quieter life. Trying to live more of a bluegrass or a folk music kind of life. And get immunized. And here we have to deal with heavy metal all over again. All our kids have moved out. We've had it with all the heavy metal. And now we're dealing with it again. Now we got an armful of it. So I decided to get just a regular old refrigerator magnet off my refrigerator. Just to prove everybody wrong. There ain't no heavy... What? Much love. Y'all be good to each other. I'm Ole'Pops.